So this is the update on Freya. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since I last posted where we were at with her training, which basically was we had started to canter under saddle. And I'd worked on it, not many times, maybe 3 times, we'll say, maybe 4 times. And she was getting pretty excited at it. And we were back to, because we couldn't ride consistently, being fast at the trot again. And so with the horsemanship challenge that I'm doing right now, I actually found out I shouldn't say found out. With me doing the horsemanship challenge and tracking all the riding or groundwork that I'm doing, basically, we got so much rain in February that while I thought that I was riding a lot, the truth is I rode 8 times and the rest of the time was spent on groundwork. And to think, or in my mind, I was feeling like we weren't okay. Oh no. You can't do that. You turned it around. Okay. So in February, I only got to ride 8 times, and I was frustrated when we were cantering because I was hoping we'd be further along than what we were. And then I realized when I looked back at how much I had actually ridden in February, it was only 8 times. So my expectations were way too high for the little bit of riding that we did. And it's not to say that we should have ridden more. That's not, we couldn't because of rain. We couldn't, or we could have, but I gave her time off when I put down my older horse. And so there's just stuff that prevented us from riding, not to mention I was still working on gaining a connection with her, and I felt like the groundwork part of it was going to result in a better connection. And so I had to reset my expectations and my goals for riding when I realized we're not riding as much as I thought we were. And so it even made me think about, okay, when I thought that I was doing a lot of riding, this winter, maybe I really wasn't. Maybe it felt like it because progress was so slow, but progress was slow because we weren't riding a lot. Is that right? And so I felt like we were at the point where we needed to do something a little bit different. While she's great in the arena, that was definitely my comfort zone with her. And I'd spent a lot of time working on getting her to stay relaxed and come back to a relaxed state when she got, I guess, full of anxiety and whatnot. So I had actually taken her through the pasture, which I believe there is a video of it, but I took her through the pasture not that long ago. And we hadn't been able to do that up to that point. Like, she just would have too much anxiety. And when we did it, it was like, wow, we could do this. So I felt like we were, or had been at a good place, even though I hadn't ridden much. And I actually took Freya on her very first trail ride last week. And So I'm going to share all the videos from that. And what I learned through that trail ride is that maybe she doesn't like arena work all the time. So it's going to be so important for me to get her out and let her experience other things and not just work in the arena. And so the trail riding part is going to be really important too. And since we have better communication between us and a better connection, and she knows what all the cues are, we were ready to trail ride. And so I'm going to... You can do it. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Oh, she's shaking. Oh, it got me. Yay! Our first trail ride went better than I even expected. She did so well. I rode with a friend and a horse that I'm used to riding with, and my friend's horse that had been out trail riding before, so he was a seasoned trail horse per se. But funny enough, we were kidding the whole trail ride that Freya actually acted like the seasoned trail horse on it, whereas Sony was like scared of stuff. So she did really great for what we went through. We crossed a bridge, we crossed water, we went into a lake. I mean, she did so well, so well. A tree branch, a huge tree branch fell from a tree. She didn't even get scared. She just looked at it. So our first trail ride went really, really well. So I brought her home. She was sore a few days after it. And I wasn't sure if that's because of the trailer ride or we rode 2.5 hours. That's the most I'd ridden her. So she had a few days off. And then it rained a lot again. So we couldn't do a whole lot again. So I went back to the same place that I took her for her first trail ride. And we went by ourselves this time because my goal is to be able for us to go riding by ourselves. And it probably would have been too early, except for the fact that she's and I are doing so well together that I really felt confident in taking her and that she would be fine. This way. This way. Good girl. Good girl. This way. Whoops. Fine. And she did good. We only rode an hour. The goal of our short trail ride was to just get her out. I only wanted to ride an hour at most and take her on the exact same trail she'd already been on and let her experience it by herself and gain confidence in being alone and whatnot. And so we crossed the creeks again without help of another horse. She crossed the bridge. We saw scary objects, which it was the first time that I had been on her and she got spooked at something, but she did really well, like listened to me really well. We were able to get past it and her actually go up to what was scaring her, and she sniffed it. So things went, they're fighting, really well for our first excursion alone. And I'm looking forward to what's to come this year with her for trail riding, which is what my main purpose is with her. I'm not planning to show, but I might. But I want her to be an excellent trail horse. Yeah. So that's the latest update. We're supposed to get some pretty good weather, so we'll go back to working on some arena stuff for a few days, and then one day next week, my hope is to once a week get her out and go trail ride and hopefully experience some new places, but it'll all be about if it rains or not. Yeah, so that's the latest update. Stay tuned, and I'll keep updating you when there's more. We are still going to continue to work on the canter, obviously, and when we get better at it, I'll give you an update.